he's been with us. He's been with us for the five country talk that we had in Southeast Asia for Freedom Summit 1. He's talking about so many strategies, creative strategies to help us, market and our business. Yeah. So for this season, our speaker will be talking about how digital advertising can help you bounce back from the pandemic. And it's very apt. We need this right now. And coming from someone whose profession is to help business people, entrepreneurs, to really promote their business, Tom will help you bounce back during the pandemic by walking you through creative strategies for growing a business with digital advertising. Whether you are offline or online in business, or you know someone with the business, you will be able to help them with these particular strategies. Without further ado, I want you to meet Tom James, and our speaker for Freedom Summit for the second time, and he will give us valuable information to help us, cope up with this pandemic and help us, bounce back again and navigate to the new normal. Hi, Tom.
Hello. Thank you very much for that introduction. So I was with Freedom Summit since the start, I guess. I did all 5 cities in the tour, and I also did like a little one in Legazpi also. I'll just get into it. So I've got a little presentation. I'm just gonna share my screen. One second. To accept some permissions. One second, sorry.
Okay, I think Tom got booted out because of some technical difficulties. Tom, if you go back, I will connect you again. Okay, I'll connect you again, Tom.
What happened?
you just got booted out from the link. So yeah, you can share.
Okay, should be working now, maybe.
Yeah, here. Wait, let me see.
Is that working?
You're there. You're working.
So, sorry about that, guys. I want to talk about digital advertising and how it can help you bounce back from the pandemic. I'm sure we're all in not the best situation at the moment. I hope most of you guys are okay. But I do advertising, and I've got some tips to share that might help some of you guys bounce back, whether it's now or a bit later. My name's Tom James. That's what I look like when I had a little bit more blonde in my hair. And you can follow me on my Instagram if you'd like. So I grew up in the UK, somewhere like this. This is what it looked like when it was actually sunny in the UK. Normally it's raining. And I spent most of my life just riding horses. But then I started to dabble in a bit of digital marketing just because I had friends, I had businesses, and I wanted to help them get more customers. So I naturally Googled how to get people to visit your website. And I discovered all sorts of different things like SEO, blogging, advertising. And what really stuck with me over the years, what I really got into, was advertising. So here's an example of adverts on social media. I'm sure we've seen them all. We've got an ad on the left for someone's trying to sell me an ebook on how to start a clothing line. And on the right, we've got a Fiji Airways Instagram advert. They want me to fly away, which is seeming increasingly impossible at the moment. But I look forward to that day. So as well as getting into advertising, I'm like a digital nomad. So I usually say I'm traveling all the time, but I haven't done that since March. I think I've been stuck in Manila since March. But this is what my Instagram feed looked like when I was traveling. And basically I just travel around as a digital nomad and run my marketing agency. And to date, we spent over $25 million worth of ad spend. So on behalf of our clients. I want to quickly go through what I'm going to talk about today. Hopefully, some of these how-tos will be enticing for some of you guys. So, yeah, first of all, I'm going to go through how to take advantage of the pandemic, and then how to reach your audience with online adverts, and then how to create ad graphics and videos, which is really, really important. And then I'm going to dabble a bit into some tips for writing good copy for the advertising, how to use these advertising skills to actually make money. And then at the end, I got a little extra thing, which is if you're feeling a bit lazy and you don't want to learn these skills, then there's another little way to make money also. So without further ado, also at the end, obviously, as you guys know, there'll be a Q&A. So I think you can stick your questions in the comments, and then I can answer them at the end. So let's get into it. So how to take advantage of the pandemic. So there's lots of things still happening during the pandemic, and one of them is obviously buying online. And even though some people are lacking some income from losing their jobs, from not having so much work, some industries are actually booming at the moment. For example, in the Philippines, health and beauty is booming as ever, even during COVID times. So there's plenty of ways to, capitalize on industries and sectors that are still booming. And there's another way to kind of transition into this. So that's converting your business to online. So sometimes this might seem a little bit weird, but I think COVID has really helped people get creative and think, how can I actually bring my business online, even if it's not conventional to bring it online? So here's an example. Wildflower is a cafe in the Philippines. They have a few different locations in Manila. I'm not sure outside of Manila. And they have their own to-go service, which goes a step further than just listing their food on different food delivery services. They actually do everything themselves. They manage the whole process themselves and really capitalize on their brand, advertising to get customers, and making good profit margins because they're running their own delivery fleet. I really encourage you guys, if you have a business or your friend has a business, to really think about, how can I bring it online in any way, even if it's just a small part of your business. And then this is a big thing that I see a lot of companies not doing, not really taking advantage of, and I think it's a massive opportunity. So as lockdowns around the world start to relax, the restrictions are getting much less strict, not so much in the Philippines at the moment, but especially in a lot of other countries, especially in Europe. You'll want to be capitalizing and really dominating your competition as we come out of the restrictions. So you need to be thinking of creative strategies on how you can capitalize on that now to put you in a great position when you are resuming business as normal. So one example is food restaurants, cafes, bars, things like that can't really operate at the moment in the traditional way. One great way is to sell vouchers. So sell vouchers for future purchases. So let's say you have a pizza restaurant, and maybe you can only reopen like normal in maybe August or September. Great. Advertise vouchers so people can pre-purchase pizza, but offer it at a good discount. So therefore, you can keep your cash flow during these times and have guaranteed customers in the door come later in the year when you're actually able to open. And that's just one example on what you can do. But yeah, it's really worth thinking about how you can put yourself in great shape for when you are able to reopen again. But this is the main thing I really wanted to talk about, which is CPM. So CPM basically stands for cost per meal. I think that's how you say it. It's cost per 1,000 impressions. So in simple terms, it's the amount of money it costs to serve your ad 1,000 times. So when your ad has been seen 1,000 times by various people, that's how much money you will pay. And the pandemic globally has affected this cost a lot. I'll give you 2 examples. So in the UK, you could expect to pay around $10 to reach 1,000 people with your ad at the back end of last year. But when the pandemic started, especially when the big restrictions started, these costs really dropped down to be only like $3 to $5, sometimes less dollars to reach 1,000 people, which is amazing, which means you can reach like 2 to 3 times more people for the same amount of money as before. This is because there's less people advertising at the moment, much less, because a lot of businesses aren't able to operate. They're not advertising, and some businesses have shut down, and some are just cost cutting, and they don't want to spend money on advertising. So there's much less people advertising, and there's way more people spending time online. A lot of people they've lost their job, or they're just currently not working, chilling at home. People can't really travel, be tourists anymore, so they're just at home on social media all the time, and a lot more people viewing ads. Both of these factors drive down the cost of ads, and that's why there's a massive opportunity right now to capitalize on that. So the other example, in the Philippines, it can really vary a lot between the provinces and Manila, the cost of advertising. But as a generalization, before it would cost around $2 US dollars, so that's 100 peso, I believe, to reach 1,000 people. Often you get it for a lot cheaper, and now, yeah, it's a lot cheaper, and you can even get it for cheaper than I've put down here. So that's why I really encourage kind of capitalizing at the moment in any way you can to take advantage of being able to reach way more people. So how do you actually reach your audience with online adverts? So there's 2 very simple ways I'm going to go through. This is the easiest I can summarize things and make it simple. So there's a narrow way, which is when you know specific characteristic or interest of your audience. So maybe you know that they're all 40 to 50-year-old women, or maybe you know they all live in a specific town or a specific area. Maybe you know that they all like basketball, or they all like a certain political party or something like that. When you're very sure that the people in your audience that would want to buy from your business have a specific interest or characteristic, this can be a great way to basically find the right audience. But there's a new way that has been very effective only recently, especially over the last 2 years, which is a more broad strategy. This is when you don't really define an audience. Maybe you would add a few parameters, but you keep it very broad, and you let Facebook or whichever advertising platform you're using do the work. So what Facebook does is it looks at this broad audience, it serves some adverts to people in their Facebook feeds, Instagram feeds, and then the ones that are clicking and buying, it will then look at those people and find more people like them. So this is a really good way to scale up your results fast, especially if you're not quite sure who you should be targeting. So I'll give you some examples on how this works. So this is the narrow targeting example. So here's an example of a client. They're actually in Switzerland, and they recruit people who do scaffolding, so people in construction. So here we're targeting people whose job title is a scaffold builder or scaffolding, or they have an interest in scaffolding. And that's how you see in this detailed targeting. We're targeting those exact things. That's narrow targeting, and it will work well. Here's an extended version of narrow targeting. So yeah, it's a broadened version of narrow targeting, if you like. It's exactly the same as before, except here you'll notice down at the bottom, we've actually ticked this this little checkbox at the bottom. What this means is that Facebook's going to start to target these scaffolders, scaffold builders, people interested in scaffolding. But because we've checked the box, it's going to automatically expand out of this audience if it thinks any more people that are on Facebook might be interested. And because Facebook has so much data on people, it's able to do this quite effectively. So we're giving a bit more control to Facebook here to go out there and find people that we may not have been able to put in the detailed targeting. Hope that makes sense. And then here's the broad targeting. In this example, we're literally targeting anyone living or recently in the Philippines from the ages of 18 plus, men or women. We're not specifying any languages they speak. We're not specifying any more targeting. And you can see on the right, it says the potential reach is 68 million people. So basically, there's 68 million people that live in the Philippines over the age of 18 who have Facebook. So this is really broad, and you think, well, that's not very targeted, is it? But this strategy can actually work. If you create a really good creative, Facebook will see the types of people who actually buy your product from that ad, and it will find more people like that. It basically makes your life easier. So this is a great strategy to try also. So speaking about ad creatives, I'm going to go through how to create ad graphics and videos. I could talk on this topic for probably weeks, and it's really hard to summarize. But I'll do my best and show you some shortcuts. So what you could do is you can just go onto Facebook and find your competitor. Maybe you have a hair salon, you can find other hair salons. Maybe you run a bakery, you can find other bakeries. And if they're running ads, you'll be able to go on their page, and in the bottom right here, you'll see a little section that says page transparency. If you click see more next to that, you'll be taken to a little box like this. It gives you some more information on like the information about the page. Most important thing is at the bottom here, it says this page is currently running ads. And the bottom right, we have a little button that says go to ad library. This will take you to the ad library of the Facebook page, which will look like this. And it shows you all the different ads they're running. So you can see when this screenshot was taken, Nike had 13,000 different ads running, which is crazy. Most brands don't have that many ads running, of course. And you'll be able to scroll through all of these ads and take inspiration from what your competitors are doing. Of course, it doesn't have to be your direct competitors. It could be similar businesses in another location. It could be just businesses that you look up to as a brand, even though they're not in the same industry as you. But there's loads of ways to find amazing inspiration from looking at the ads. And here's just a few things you might want to look at. So here's an ad that Watsons are running. Actually links to their products on Lazada. And you want to look at things like, what is their offer? So what are they actually doing as the promotion? What's their messaging? So that's how they talk to their customers. What graphics are they using? Maybe you can take inspiration and use something similar. What's their landing page? So you'll want to click on the ad and check what they're linking to and how that links with the ad. What do the comments say? Often you'll find in the comments people are talking about that they'll be asking questions. And maybe that's because the ad hasn't been clear enough about something, which means that you can make your ad better to cover those issues. So yeah, there's loads of stuff that you can take inspiration from. But that's the main thing I want to get across. You should never, ever copy, not even a few words. You should always just be inspired. So when I do this myself, I find loads of inspiration from these different, from the different ads that competitors run. And it'll give me a few different ideas for ads I can run for my clients. So yeah, spend some time doing that and you'll definitely get inspired. And here are some more creative ideas. I'm just going to shoot through them. You don't have too much time. So you can do first-person unboxings or explanations. So literally filming yourself unboxing a product or explaining why you use a product or explaining what a product is. Real authentic content that looks like it's just someone recording on their Instagram story works really, really, really well. And it's very easy to shoot. So I really encourage you to do that. Customer testimonials, that's straightforward. Your customers talking about why they like you, why they like your products or your services. Funny videos. If you can think of a funny video, even if it's a bit cringe, this can work really well. It has the potential to go viral. And usually people, if it's the first interaction with your brand, it's a really good way for them to get introduced to your brand and think, oh, that's a really cool brand. Let's see what they sell, or let's see what their service is. Explainer videos, just some simple music in the background with some captions that explain your product or service can work great. First-time reactions. This can be fun. It's a bit hard to do during lockdown, but after that, you can, if you have some cool product, you can go up in the streets to random people and just get their opinion on what they think about it. Maybe they're surprised by it or think it's super cool. You can explain things about like how you designed the product, or how your team works together, or how you manufacture, and have like some behind the scenes kind of footage. People really like that. And yeah, just another one, founder's story, the founder talking about why they started the brand or something. There's loads more ideas, but hopefully that would give you some inspiration. So how do we write great advertising copy? Again, I wish I could talk about this for much longer, but the easiest thing to do is obviously just, as I said before, go and look at your competitors, how they're talking to their customers, but really take that stuff with a pinch of salt, because most advertisers, in my opinion, are not talking to their customers in the right way. I believe Nike has great copy, but many businesses don't. So always use your best judgment, but you can obviously get inspiration from how businesses write their copy, competitors write their copy. I'm just going to give you some rules. I'll get rid of that a second. I'm going to give you some rules, which could be good to go over after you've started writing some of your ad copy. Just to go over, these are very simple, very short list, but it just kind of shows my principles. Hopefully it will help a lot. So first of all, forget professional marketing language. A lot of people fall into the trap of being like, oh my God, I'm creating an ad. I need to be professional, use business language, use marketing language, stuff I learned in business school, or I'm just going to Google how to talk like that, or like really sales copy. Half the time, or most of the time, this doesn't work. People hate it. At the moment, the ads that work the best are the ones that seem natural, seem like the company is talking to you in a nice, normal, natural way, as if you're a human being. So this is probably my most important rule. Write your copy as if you're talking to your target customer in person. You have to kind of like imagine this person is like coming in front of you literally, and you can just literally talk to them and say something like, hey, oh, maybe you like this product, it does this cool thing. Maybe not that casual, but just try to talk to them as a human, and they will view the ad as a normal human would. And if they like the product or service, then they're going to move forward with it. So yeah, that's a really big point. Yeah, don't try to sell your product service. Stop trying to like push a sale and be really salesy. Literally just explain what it is and what the benefits are. People don't need that much encouragement to buy. If they see a product they like or a service they like, then they will be interested in it. So bear that in mind. And this is something that not all businesses should abide by, but in general, try not to compare yourself to competitors. You should be talking about how great you are, not necessarily just because you're better than someone else. People want to hear that you're great. They don't really care if you're better than someone else in most circumstances. Okay, hopefully that helps. So, how to use these advertising skills to actually make money. The first one is obvious. If you have a business yourself, then you can use adverts to get more customers, more sales, more profits. Pretty obvious, self-explanatory. Maybe you don't have your own business, but there are plenty of other businesses out there, and this is essentially what I do. These businesses will pay you to help them grow, and that's a really important thing to remember. Businesses don't generally want to pay someone to run their advertising. They don't really care in general if they're running ads or not. All they care about is if they get more sales or more customers or more exposure or whatever it is that they're looking to do with their business. That's all they care about. So if you can use your advertising skills to help people get more customers, more sales, then they're going to want to pay you to keep doing that for them. All right. Here's my advice on this if you're looking to get into advertising more. In terms of you're wanting to run it for other businesses. So I would say learn ads for free with your own business or a friend's business. So if you have your own business or a friend has a business, just offer to do some ads for free to get your teeth into it, to see what happens. You really have to start advertising to be able to learn. And obviously you don't want to start charging companies until you're happy that you're good enough at your service to charge them. Then after you've done that for a bit and you're getting more confident, then I would start working for clients and possibly work for them for free, but get a bonus when you bring success. So for example, you do their ads for free, but when they make money, you get a certain percentage of it. Or when they get extra customers into their store, you get, an extra bonus payment, something like that. So you get paid when they get results. And then third of all, you'll start to charge clients at some point when you're happy that you're good at advertising, and you should do that at a price that is fair to both them and you. You don't want them to be overpaying for a service that isn't worth the money they're paying you, but you don't want to be taking less money than it's worth your time. In both those situations, the relationship will never work out. So yeah, hopefully that advice helps. So this is the last bit. How to make money if you don't want to learn these skills. So, put very simply, give clients to me. So this is if you're lazy. So I know that, I've done various talks, and some people do take action and get on with the stuff I've taught, and others are very lazy, and that's fine. That's completely fine to be lazy. I'm going to show you, I haven't talked about this before, but you can actually still make money whilst being lazy, right? So this is how it works. Pretty simple. If you know a friend or a business that needs help with getting more customers or sales, then feel free to introduce them to me. All you have to do is introduce them. If I work with the client that you introduce to me, then I will pay you a 20% commission for every month I work with the client. So pretty self-explanatory. But for example, let's say your friend has a restaurant and they're really struggling to get people through the doors at dinner time. You can introduce them to me. Let's say they start paying me $1,000 a month to run their advertising to increase their dinner time bookings. You'll be getting paid $200 a month for just doing that introduction. You'll have to do nothing per month. I'm just going to pay you that because you gave me the client. Another example, let's say the client is an e-commerce store. They end up paying me $2,500 a month. Then I will quite happily pay you $500 a month just for introducing me. So yeah, this is really for the lazy people. All right. Yeah, so the last slide, I wanted to offer something for free for everybody here. Basically, I want to allow you to get free advertising help at whatever stage you're at. So if you go to this form, hopefully we can share it in the chat after or something. I know we'll share it in some emails afterwards. You can fill in this form, very simple. Just tell me a little bit about your business, what you're trying to advertise, what you're currently doing, something like that. And I'll quite happily get back to you and give you full advice on whatever you need advice with. I'm completely happy to do that for free and help you kind of bounce back from the pandemic. If you can't be bothered to fill in the form, you can also just email me, and that's my email. I rushed through that a little bit because I'm not quite sure where I'm I'm time-wise, but basically now it's time for Q&A. So if there's any questions, then I would love to hear them.
There's a question. Hello, Tom. There's a question from one of our viewers. Sorry, let's stop. Can you stop the sharing?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so there's a question from one of our viewers. How has the messaging tone or client interaction with Facebook ads changed during the pandemic? This is the question that they're asking. Is there a change in the tone or client interactions with Facebook ads because of pandemic? This is just the question that we can ask you now, but we will send links and whatever that the people need to get in touch with you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I've noticed a lot more engagement than normal. Even as I told you, like let's say I'm spending $100 and I reach a certain amount of people. Now during the pandemic, that $100 will reach maybe 2 or 3, maybe even more times more people. So you can imagine you're going to get more engagement. But even with getting more reach, I'm getting way more engagement than you would expect. And I think the reason is more people are bored. lots more people are at home doing nothing. As I said, browsing social media. They don't have their commute to do. They don't have work to do. As I said, they're not going out and drinking in bars and all that kind of stuff pretty much worldwide, which means tons of people are just bored as hell. So people that are seeing your ads are more likely, first of all, they're more likely to click and actually look into it because they're not as busy. They're also more likely to comment. They're also more likely to just write negative comments. With any advertising, even for like products that I would say it's almost impossible to criticize, you get people criticizing them. And the best way to deal with that is to reply to the comment and say, and just deal with it. Just deal with it in a good way, rather than just deleting comments all the time. If you're a legit business with a legit service that's good and not a scam, then you're going to always be able to reply with a good comment in response to whatever someone's criticizing you for. So, just expecting more clicks. The costs for conversion, cost per click, cost per pretty much everything has decreased, which is great. So that means the returns have been slightly higher, especially with e-commerce and stuff like that. But as ever, it depends on the product or service you're selling. So I would say, one thing I didn't touch on also is when the restrictions slow down and the lockdowns lift and stuff, it's not going to be, advertising won't be straight back to more expensive again. It's still going to be quite cheap because a lot of businesses have shut down. A lot of businesses will be scared to spend as much money as they were spending because they want to do cost cutting. So this is going to be kind of the new norm, if you like, for like at least another half year, maybe even longer. There's plenty of opportunity there.
Okay, so one last question before we end, Tom, and thank you for your valuable advice. And the question is from Debbie. What would you advise to make your ad stand out from everybody else? Because now everyone is trying to send their ads and promote their products because everybody's online, like what you said. Maybe because of the pandemic, everybody started to get creative and start to pursue their passion. But how can you? What is your advice? How can you make your ad stand out from everybody else?
This is one of the key things to advertising that a lot of people don't touch on, and I didn't even touch on much in my talk today, because you have the different aspects. So who you're targeting, your copy, your creative, whether that's photo or video, your landing page, all that kind of stuff. But what I think is really important is your actual offer. So what you're offering people. Your offer means there's no other way to explain it apart from your offer. But you don't have to be like, well, I'm a restaurant. My offer is you can come in and eat. For restaurants that I work with, I always advise that you create something amazing. I work with a restaurant in LA, and they made this burger where you pour the cheese all over the burger. So they made like a cool video of them pouring this cheese all over the burger. So unhealthy, but it's a unique meal that you can only get at this restaurant. Other restaurants have done that also, but in general, most don't. So it just really stands out because it's like they've almost made a new product to make a really compelling ad and a really compelling reason. No longer am I looking at that restaurant and thinking, I feel hungry. I might eat that cuisine tonight or whatever. I'm thinking, oh my God, look at that burger. I have to go there and eat there because that's the only place I know where to go and eat that burger. So I really advise anyone to come up with a cool, unique, maybe add-on or marketing angle that really stands out. So maybe another example, the reason I can't help very much with this is because this is why I'm doing this free ads help, because I need to know specifics about a business before I'm able to actually suggest something specific, which will actually be useful. But yeah, another example, hair salon offer like a free glass of champagne. Obviously you have to be, a little higher class charging to do that. But for a certain clientele, people would think, well, it's a bit more expensive, but they treat you well because you get a free glass of champagne when you enter. That's amazing. I want to go with these guys. So having that really unique thing that will stand out, that's actually not to do with the ad, it's more to do with changing your product offering slightly or adding an extra service or that extra little thing, is really a good way to look at these things. So yeah, hopefully that helps.
Great. Thank you. We're going to, because we have a tight schedule, we will just connect you again and maybe interview you for this particular question. But for now, we will be sending the link that you provided so that they can connect with you. And yeah, so we will have our next guest. And thank you very much, Tom, for joining us again for Freedom Summit Season 2.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.